Hello, everybody out there in Facebook world, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere this video is going to be going live, which is just TikTok and Facebook right now. I am working on getting things going to where, we can go live on multiple platforms at the same time. That way it just broadens the reach and lets more people join in on the fun. Today's title: Life's Annoyances. Life's Annoyances. Brisk, be my sponsor. Send me free drinks. Isn't that what everybody does? Send me free, send me free, send me free. But we are content creators, so, we do like that stuff that we can talk to the masses about and show them what we're drinking or eating or, whatever we're putting in our bodies at the time. If you're working out, you're putting in all kinds of different chemicals in your body for pre-workouts and things of that nature. And should I shave this thing? Should I shave this thing off? Anyway, life's annoyances. Yesterday was one annoyance after another. It started when my pig decided she wanted to get up at roughly this time of the morning. And she normally doesn't get up until closer to 6:10. The dog was with her, of course. And I lock my door so that they don't come in the office, because I've got precious cargo inside the office that I don't want the pig to chew on like she has before. All my expensive markers, like my Copics, where she's chewed the caps off and things of that nature. And then she has destroyed several pens in the office. Well, they pull at the edge of the door trying to get in. And so I had to go deal with them yesterday. And so the annoyance just started at that point in time. And it got worse. And so I took them out. They came back inside. I fed the pig. Dog went back to bed. Pig eventually went back to bed, but it took her a little while. And then she was up before the 6 o'clock hour. So about 5:30, somewhere in that range, she was back up, squealing again. So take her back outside, feed her again, come back in the office, and I'm annoyed. I mean, I'm completely 100% annoyed already. And so that set the mood for the day. Like I've talked about in previous, you can set the mood for your day, but other things can also set the mood for your day as well. Well, that didn't help. And welcome to 412 Productions. I'm Monty Anderson. I am an artist. I'm an actor. I am a veteran. I am all kinds of good stuff. But we're talking about life's annoyances right at this particular moment. We'll jump into the artwork and things like that, and we'll show you some covers like I have in the past, and show you some of the artwork sitting around the room. So I was just angry and annoyed pretty much the entire day. And so then I got asked to go on another live show by a friend of mine, King Daniel on Facebook. He does a show called In Your Face Broadcasting, or In Your Face Podcast, and he goes live on YouTube with it through StreamYard. Well, I hook up. I've got 3 other people. I got King Daniel. I got Jason Pitts. I've got Tim something or other was on there as well, and I'm the 4th. But the show is for me and all that good stuff. But as I'm sitting there, we're talking. It's lagging, and I don't know if it's my side. I don't know if it's the computer. I don't know if it's his side. The program he's using, all that good stuff. But for an hour plus live that they were on, I think I was only on live for maybe 25 minutes because of whatever was going on. So again, annoyance. I wanted to throw my internet out the window. I wanted to throw my computer out the window. And it was just like, I don't know whose fault it is, And so another frustrating moment. So most of the day was a frustration in some form, fashion, or another. And so how I dealt with the beginning portion of the day was to go out and chop about 30 logs for splitting my firewood. Since we're getting another bout of cold weather, because we still are in winter. And so I was outside getting my frustration out on some lumber. Chopping up log after log after log. And appreciate the likes, appreciate the love. Thanks, Roy. Thanks for showing up for the show, too. And so I was super frustrated most of the day yesterday. And so I went out, and like I said, I was taking my frustration out on pretty much every piece of log I could get my hand on, which I still have a lot more to chop up out there, but I did about 30 yesterday, which is a lot more than I normally chop on a regular basis, because I usually only chop about 10 to 15 at a time. This time I doubled my production. And we're not talking about just like some small logs. I'm talking about some logs about yay tall and about yay high, about 2 foot in length that fit in my fireplace or my wood burning stove. Yes, I have 2 different heat sources. Well, 3 technically, with my central heat as well. But yeah, super frustrating. What do you do with your frustrations when they happen? How do you deal with them? Do you let them just control you like I did yesterday? Or do you try to change your mindset? Which is sometimes very difficult to do. Especially when it's just one annoyance after another all day long. And that's what it seemed to be yesterday. So yesterday was the Murphy's Law, or what's the other one? I can't even think of what the other one is right now. But it's just like one thing compounded off another, off another, off another. And it just wouldn't let up all day long. And so, that's how I got my frustration out. Instead of yelling, screaming, kicking, and throwing a fit, like children do, I went out, punished some wood, and restocked my fireplace wood for the most part. And got the fireplace going right now, which is in the front room, with the door closed, of course, to keep any sparks and embers flying out everywhere. So, what's everybody been up to? I know the stupid bowl's happening tomorrow. Not really interested in it, period. Don't even care that it could be a historical moment for a three-peat, by that one red team that's playing in it. I won't even say their name. I won't even say the green team that's in it. But yeah, good job, Roy. I'm not even going to say that. Oh, good try though. Good try. Everybody can read that. You can read what Roy put. I will not. That'll be one comment that I don't read on live. It's not a derogatory comment or anything like that, but it's just, not my football team, not my monkey. I know you had to, buddy. It's all good. It's all good. So today I'm hoping is a much better day, being a Saturday. And yes, I was also tired yesterday, so I had to cancel some plans with a buddy of mine, Doug. Sorry about that. Because she has to get up early anyway. And then, I stayed up to do the live, but was frustrated and tired and all that good stuff, and nothing was working right. Nothing was working right at all. And it sucks. It sucks whenever things don't go the way they're supposed to. And you don't know, wherein lies the problem. You don't know if it's the crappy internet, which I'm looking into another one right now, because everybody is in agreement Cox sucks. Um, and or is it my outdated computer that can't run a specific program, like Windows 11? Hope today is a better day for you, buddy. Me too, Roy. Me too. I seriously super hope today is better. Um, just because, it is uh, almost Valentine's Day. It is almost, this week coming up on the 9th through the 15th. Looking at my calendar, sorry. The 9th through the 15th, that's the middle of the month of February. So in an essence, February is kind of flying by a little bit. Unlike what people were talking about January. Was like, oh my gosh, January was a year long. I can't take it. Oh. Go get some tissue. I'm glad this year is slowing down. I'm glad this year isn't like the end or last year where it just flew by. I'm kind of happy that this year is slowing down. And I know a lot of people aren't happy about it for certain reasons. And that's not something I like to talk about on my show. I know there's been a lot of instigators trying to get me to talk about certain things on my shows and things of that nature, but I avoid certain topics just because they do nobody any good. All it does is get people angry, and there's enough of anger in the world. Just like I was angry yesterday at everything. It didn't matter what was going on. It all started with the animals trying to get into my office bright and early, this time of the day, 4:30 in the morning, whenever they usually sleep until 6. And that set the mood, the tone for my entire day. And I tried to get it to lighten up, if you will, but it never would just leave. It would still be there nagging just a little bit. So that's what the title of today is: Life's Frustrations, or Annoyances, not frustrations, sorry. I did have one of the guys that I had on the show as well. He said it must have been frustrating, and I told him, just a little bit ago, he's not awake yet, but told him just a little bit ago that, yeah, it was very frustrating because, like I said earlier, I wanted to throw my entire computer setup, I wanted to throw my entire internet system out the window. And, you pay for these things to work the way you want them to work. And you're paying for what they consider a premium service. But their service really sucks. Cox, you guys need to step up your game. This whole 1,028 gigabytes of whatever your bandwidth or whatever it is, you need to up that. Because as I'm looking at Wave, which is a local internet here in Arkansas, they have unlimited sections in theirs. Yours does not. Even at your most expensive business side, does not give you unlimited. You still have that same 1,028 gigabyte upload or usage speed or whatever it is, which does not do anything in today's society, because 1,028 gigabytes is just like that. I can have 2 streaming services going, the computer going, which is downloading, constant information to keep it updated and running smoothly, and boom, you're already at your limit. And then boom, here comes another charge because you're above your limit, so we're adding extra to you. So now we can charge you extra because you went over your limit. So, and that's where they get you. And so your normal $50 bill turns into a $90 bill by the time you're ready to pay it. And which sucks because you're not expecting to pay $100 on your internet, period. but it's hard to find a decent service out there that does not charge you an arm and a leg. It's just like your cell phone service, or especially if you're in a contract with AT&T or whoever you do business with. Um, Everything's a racket. Everything's a racket. Um, so, just like paying your taxes is a big racket. Okay. Um, because, not working a 9 to 5, and I'm self employed, you pay taxes out of that. And then you only get so much back at the end of the year. Now, when I was working, I used to get better tax returns, and I saw what it was really like to get what I was getting back this year, which is practically nothing. Um, Even though I did a lot more comic book conventions last year, and I'm not doing any this year, it's straight artwork from the home and selling to people that hit my DMs and say, hey, can you do this? Hey, can I buy this from you? And with all of that, it is like you can see the big difference in your tax return at the end of the year. Because I think I brought in close to 3,000 last year. This year it's like 200. Well, I say last year, it was yeah, it was 23 to 24. So yeah, because I stopped working in October of 23, and just because they pissed me off, and I'd had my limit with them, and I said peace out, bye. So I kind of self-retired, if you will, only to do better things, which is my artwork full time. I get to homestead. I get to play with the animals on a regular basis. My chickens, my goats, my ducks, my pigs, you know. And we just picked up 8 more chickens, and we're gonna, in about a month, we're gonna be picking up 10 more. So, it's, I'm living life on my own terms to a point, because I don't have solar or wind power here at the house, which I want to hook up. I don't have my own well here on the property, which I want to do, because I want to stop paying OG&E their hefty sum. I want to stop paying the water department their hefty sum. And so with those two out of the way, especially OG&E, that lets me focus on an internet bill, a cell phone bill, and then the streaming services that we use here at the house. Now, she's paying for part of them, I'm paying for part of them. But if I could be saving an extra $500 a month by getting rid of OG&E, our electric company, then that $500 a month could go into something else. It could go into more equipment for the farm, more supplies that I need for the farm. I mean, just think, $500 a month saved that you're not paying to an electric company. And since I don't have gas hookup here at the house, I don't have to pay gas. Let's see. But yeah, water and electricity, if I could get those two under control, get those taken care of, because I do want to put in some wind powered generators in the back, some wind turbines, and because I'm opening up 50 extra feet of my property where it actually was supposed to be in the first place. Excuse me. But for some reason they stopped the fence at a certain point. even though the survey stick is where it is, 50 more feet back. So I'm opening up that, which is going to allow my neighbor to open up his as well. So, let's see. But yeah, 412 Productions, Art of Monty Anderson. If you're watching me on Facebook, you get to see my artwork over here. If you're here, you don't get to see the artwork at all, except for the logo behind me. But I do appreciate each and every one of you stopping in and checking out the channel. We talk about everything. We talk about life's annoyances. We talk about pain. We talk about comic books. We talk about movies. We talk about a little bit of everything here. And which is how it should be. You shouldn't just be on one topic the entire time. You shouldn't be like, well, it's time for dry eye now. And then that's where you stick the whole time. So I try to have some fun. Even though I was annoyed yesterday, I didn't do a live yesterday. I try to do a live every other day. Just because doing a live every day, it's okay. But I want to build up some information or things like that. Just like, had I been on yesterday, it probably would not have been a very good show, period. Just because I probably would have gotten angry at people showing up to the show. That's how annoyed I was yesterday. But it's just like I can reach anywhere in my office and pull up something like Princess Leia, original, 1978. Princess Leia, with her cape. No weapon, but just her cape. I was bleaching out her cape, because you can see it's a little bit on the pink side. It was a lot more red than this until I put it in the peroxide bath. But with her legs too, because she was in a Star Wars case that was red on the inside. Instead of them using white or anything like that, they used red as the trays, and all the characters that have white on them, for the most part, soaked up that red plastic, and so it turned them to a different color, just like the snow troopers over here. I've got two of those, and they both have the red tint to them. So I learned a little trick that doesn't destroy the figure, but it helps if you use heat and peroxide. It takes out that red from the figure. So that was a pretty cool trick that I learned from some other Star Wars or toy collectors that try to get rid of those colors that seep into the plastics from back in the day. Those harmful plastics that we don't use nowadays. No BPE or whatever it's called nowadays. So, what do you guys collect? Anything? Anybody collect anything? I'm going to go over here and check this and see if it's up and running. I'm not seeing anything going on over here at this point in time, but I'm looking, and I'm not seeing anything happening there. Okay. So it is lagging over there, I guess, but on Facebook. So what do you guys collect? I collect comic books. I collect crystals and stones. I collect coins, and denomination bills, especially star notes and things of that nature, and different currencies from around the world, as well as in my coin collection as well. I collect artwork, especially from people that I enjoy their artwork of. Those of you on Facebook get to see the wall behind me. On TikTok, unfortunately, you do not get to see the wall behind me. I collect animals, apparently. That's what a homesteader does. You build your farm, you build up so that you can sell back to the community at a cheaper price than you can find your eggs at the grocery store. We do ship eggs out around the world. I mean, not around the world, but to certain places we will ship. Um, so we're hoping within the next couple of months we'll have 9 more layers. One should be ready to lay eggs in about a week to 2 weeks, I think they said, the one we got them. And then the other 7 of them that we picked up um, should be ready by March, April, they said. So we'll see. Which, if that happens, we will have. What is that? 13 laying hens. Um, so we'll see how that happens, or if it happens. We did lose one of our hens to a hawk about 3 weeks ago. And that was a tragedy because she was a good layer as well. But so that dropped our ration down just a little bit. And it is wintertime, so they slow down in production during the winter months. Whereas during the spring, summer, and fall months, they produce more just because there's more for them to eat. In lieu of bugs and critters and things skirting around the yard. So they get more nutritional value whenever they're free ranging. So, and that is one of the big things that we're looking at. We like to free range the chickens, which means we have them in a coop at night with a run, and then we open that up during the daytime. They come out and go all over the yard. We had the one that got killed by a hawk. She liked to go outside the yard because she found a little opening and we didn't know about. And so she would go outside of our yard and into the back side of the fence and into a big open area. And I guess it was just the right day and the right time that a hawk saw her and took her out. Because we found her feathers strewn all through the back wood line going towards the main road back there that goes near our area where we live. We're not 100% in the country, but our spot is country. And I mean, I've got a cow field right across the fence, or right across the road from me, on my main road that goes down our street here. And behind us is OG&E property, but there's nothing there. There's a big field, and then there's a business thereafter, which is probably, I'd say 200 yards away, so 2 football fields away. Speaking of the stupid bowl that's happening tomorrow. And so we're pretty sure it was a hawk, just because of the way the feathers were strewn out, because we would have seen other signs of, blood, guts, all that good stuff. And yes, I'll talk about blood, guts here too, because I love my horror. And especially the classic campy stuff. But I also enjoy my, newer stuff from the 80s and 90s. For some of you, that's not new. You're like, that's ancient technology right there. And it's just like, yeah, I know. But I was born in the 70s, so, you got to go with the times. And some of the new stuff that they're coming out with in horror is just stupid. I mean, 100% stupid. Everybody says, "Oh my gosh, it made me run out of the movie theater." It's just like, why? That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And let's see, when Paranormal Activity came out, we went to see it as military guys in the theater. I'm trying to think if we were in Texas or where we were. I can't remember the exact where we were now when it came out. But we went to it as military guys, and we had a whole row of people in front of us. And the very last scene, when she starts crawling towards the camera, and then the face changes over to this demonic looking thing or skull or whatever it did, they sent those group of people in front of us nearly in our laps because they were trying to run out of the theater and we're sitting there laughing. It was just like, that wasn't even a real jump scare. But yet you're acting like a fool. Trying to beat the street and run as fast as you can. And I guess horror movies don't bother me because I've grown up with it. I mean, for the most of my life. And seeing demons as a child and living in a haunted house where poltergeist activity happens. Speaking of which, let's talk about yesterday as well. So, as frustrated as I was out chopping wood, putting the wood up. It goes right here in front of my window, where my rack is, and come back in to start doing some artwork, which is on my desk over here. And I see one of my what's called a hobo coin laying right down here in front of my keyboard. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I haven't messed with that. The girlfriend wasn't home. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm looking, and I've got this plastic clear shelf that's got crystals on it. It's got my little alien figures on it as well. And this hobo coin sits directly on the bottom of this shelf. It's got a little lip on it. It's about, half an inch, if I had to guess, half an inch tall, to keep everything from falling off. Well, on that little plastic shelf, the clear plastic shelf, it sits against the back wall, and it sits behind a crystal or a stone, or both, because I'm looking at it, it sits behind both. Now, if it were to roll towards one end, especially this end coming towards my right, then it's going to hit the picture frame right there and not going to fall. If it were to have been bumped from outside, which could have happened because of my putting logs up there, but I don't throw them up against the wall. I just set them up there, and I usually don't even touch the wall. It would have pitched forward just a little bit like this, up against the rock, or the crystal that it's sitting behind. No, this thing launched itself a good, from here it's an arm's length. It's an arm's length from where that it's a little bit more than that. It's an arm's length plus a foot right there. So it had to have launched itself up over and landed tail side up, and the tail side has the eagle on the back, and so the eagle head was facing me towards my door, and there is no way that could have happened. None. Period. Zero. Zilch. And that's not the first thing that's happened like that. One of my pictures up here also flew off the wall one day while I was sitting here doing artwork. Hit me in the shoulder. And, you get poltergeist activity like that on a regular basis. So things like that don't bother me. It's just I want to know what led up to that happening. Why did it decide to show itself out right then and there? Just because, I get the occasional poltergeist activity. It's been a long time since things have been thrown, excuse me, because one of the first things that got thrown was a Grogu figure. Hold on, I'm listening. Okay. That is in my hallway to my office right here. And it got thrown off a shelf that's very sturdy because I did the jump test. Nothing moved on any of my shelves. And this sits against the wall just like this coin does. And on the other side is the kitchen with a pantry. So there's no pantry door, so nothing gets slammed, nothing gets anything like that. And I walk into the office after hearing a noise, and there the figure is sitting on the floor on its base, facing towards the room. Um, and so then some of the next things that happened, which was years later, I've only been in the house almost 3 years, since 22, and November of 22 is when I moved into this house. But my girlfriend has some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures in her in the bedroom on the dresser, and it's on a card with the plastic encapsulation for the figure. Well, it flipped upside down and landed in between two other figures, which is scientifically impossible to do unless it was picked up, flipped upside down, and put down, card going in between the other two figures like that. So there's strange occurrences of poltergeist activity that are like that. She's physically been grabbed in bed around the calf and ankle area when the bed was right up against the wall, so nothing could reach up and grab you, especially the cat or anything like that. Um, but it's just been one thing after another ever since I moved into this house. And I don't mind it because we're living coexistently in this house with the entity or entities, I don't know which. And we brought a haunted doll into the house, not into the house, he's actually out in the shop area. His name is Diego. Um, don't know much more about him than that. But we have not saged him or any weird thing like that. So he's still living his existence out there in this gesture doll outside. Um, I do tend to find the creepier the better when it comes to clowns. Um, so I do have some clown figures in the library, and I've been waiting for them to move and I've got a camera in there running 24/7. So the paranormal doesn't bother me, period. Um, and in fact, I enjoy it. That's why I keep a digital recorder right here in the office on a regular basis, because I've caught a lot of EVPs here in the office. Um, I can't make out what most of them say for the most part, but they do happen on a regular basis. I've caught orbs going into my hat while I'm talking about a puzzle box from Hellraiser, that I've got, which I moved into the front room. The Divic box, or not Divic box, that's a different thing. I've thought about getting a Divic box. If you know what those are cool. But yeah, no, it's that type of stuff doesn't bother me. I have more issues with living than I do the dead, if you will. So, but you always wonder when there is an entity around you. Is it attached to you, or did it come with the house? Because like I said, I've seen things ever since I was a kid. Started with the demon that I saw at my aunt's house, to all the shadow figures, to all the poltergeist activity, to just the different things that you see that are unexplained, full body apparitions, those type things. So let's segue that, shall we? That's where it's going to come into my comic book a little bit. Because my comic book that I've got in the works has all different kinds of aspects to it. It's going to have the paranormal. It's going to have the cryptid. It's going to have the mythological. And it's going to have a different element to it that I've only seen a handful of times. And I haven't seen it recently, especially in comic book form. So hopefully it sets itself apart from the rest of the world when it comes to the comic books. It is a 4-issue miniseries. It's going to have 4 covers per issue. So that means 16 comic books covers that will be available with my comic book. I'm not giving the title yet. I'm not giving a whole synopsis of what it's about yet. Just because I've seen it happen one too many times where somebody has taken somebody else's idea, ran with it before they could run with their own idea, because they are still, like me, I'm still writing the books. I'm on page 18 of book 1, and here it is 2 months in. And I started writing this thing last year. So, and I'm looking at anywhere between 22 to 28 pages per book. I know I keep changing that because I've got to see how each book comes to the end of each book. Now, book 4 will probably be a much bigger book to tie everything together, to finish the story, and go from there, excuse me. And then once all that's done, I will take all of the artwork that comes in from different people, and I will be asking for some new artists to do some things for that book. Will be the graphic novel, which collects all the books together. So you'll have all 4 books in the graphic novel. Then you'll have all of the cover art in the graphic novel. And then you'll probably have some different splash pages as well in the graphic novel coming along with that. So, I'm looking forward to it. It's a totally different pace for me because I'm not a writer, and so the writing process is interesting to me just because I'm writing it like a script to a movie, because that's what you have to do whenever you're writing. Because, like, say I'm just a writer and I don't do any artwork, period. I have to break it down so that the artist knows what I'm looking for. But yet I want the artist to have his creative license with it as well. So for me, I'm putting it in a storyboard, synopsis type, page, or book 1, page 1, panel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then word balloon or thought balloon or, this, that, and the other. So that I know what to expect whenever I get to that page, whenever I get back to that page. Because when you're writing, you're not thinking about the art aspect yet. I mean, I am, but I've heard, that the writer just writes it, gets it done, sends it off to the artist. The artist does his thing, the inker does his thing, and then everybody comes, looks at it, and says, yeah, that was my plan and my vision for it. So that's what I'm kind of hoping is going to happen here. That my vision that's up here in my noggin translates well when it comes to hitting the page. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Working on some arty work right now. I've got Vampirella Strikes. I turned it into a virgin cover. A virgin cover means there's no logos on it anywhere whatsoever. And so I turned it into a virgin cover after having discovered that I didn't like the original drawing that I put on it. And this one does look 1,000 times better than the first one I put on there. And so when I painted, I used what's called Barn Red right here. Yes, I used the apple barrel acrylics right there instead of, I use everything. So this is whoever this brand is. I couldn't even tell you. And I'm probably going to have to take the pig out because I hear her moving around. Like I said, she's getting up earlier than she normally would. This is a whole hour early. Yeah. So give me a minute, folks. I will be right back. I've got to take her out to go potty. So I'll be right back. So, she's getting up earlier than normal, which is not cool. I like it when she gets up at 6. Sorry about that. Break. Pause. She pees for like a minute and a half straight. It's crazy. So yeah, my book, I'm looking at, doing it the way it's going to work best for me. And so, for me, that is writing it out like a script, as far as a movie script. Because it allows me to take and look at each panel and see the way I wanted it to be as I'm writing it out. So I'll put in little extra notes in there for myself and go from there. And I just realized we're not the only roosters in the area. As I was hearing 2 or 3 other roosters further out, because mine doesn't crow like the other 3 that I had used to in the mornings at this time of day, from 3 o'clock until whenever. So I'm glad it just wasn't my roosters that were doing that. But I'm looking forward to getting this comic book rolling even more. So I've got a canvas that I'm working on, Lost Boys David, where he's got the tear coming down his face after Marco dies. And so I've got that in the works. I'm working on this cover. I'm working on another cover. I've got some more covers that I'm going to be working on as well. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on blank comic book covers. And if you don't know what that means, for those of you showing up, this is a blank comic book cover. It means there's nothing on it except for the logo of the character or characters, be it a like Uncanny X-Men or Spawn or Wolverine or whatever. And then what I do is I take this blank cover and do cool stuff like this right here to it. Okay. Now, with that being said, I also go full board with Wolverine. And I can turn this one into a virgin cover real easy, just by taking out all the Wolverine logo up there. And it would be what's called a virgin cover, like I did for my Vampirella. So if you're interested in any artwork, hit me up. I probably have something that you would really be interested in. Or I can create something that you would want. I do not safe for work art as well. I do your typical everything. I do portraits, I do animals, I do, the list goes on and on of what I create. And I'm not limited, and I don't limit myself either on certain things. So if you are interested in any of that, hit me up. But yeah, no, yesterday, like I was talking about, how do you deal with your frustrations, your annoyances? And that's what the opening of this conversation was started with, because I was super annoyed by the animals, as you heard out there, who are up earlier than normal. Like I said, normally they're awake closer to 6 o'clock, not 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning like they have been the past couple of nights. And that just started my tone yesterday, was annoyance. And how I got through it was by chopping a whole ton more of wood than I normally would, pun intended, on a regular basis. Because I usually do about 10 to 12 to 15 logs at a time. Yesterday I doubled my production by splitting 30 logs yesterday. And like I said, they aren't just the small logs. They're logs about yay big around by 2 foot tall, that fit into my fireplace or my wood burning stove. So, yeah, hopefully today is a much better day. The pig is up earlier than normal already. She's up an hour earlier than normal. I don't know why she's doing that now. Um, but hopefully they can get back into their sleep pattern. Once the warmer weather starts to hit, she'll be going outside pretty much all day long until evening time to when she can come in and sleep in her little bed that she's got. It's a dog bed, but she still fits in it, even though she's about 120 plus pounds. But that's what homesteading's about. You let your animals in the house. We've got a chicken in a bedroom right now because she's in the molt stage, and she's also getting picked on by the rest of the flock for whatever reason. Maybe it's because she doesn't have the feathers on her back right now. But we are letting her stay separate from the flock right now so that she can heal up and, get back to them. She's one of our older birds, which we didn't realize that we were getting old birds until the woman arrived with them, and boom, here's these full-grown chickens. We were expecting some like teenage chickens, but no. We have full-on adult chickens that she gave us, and that we bought. She didn't just give them to us, but we were like, okay, that's not what we asked for, but all right. And unfortunately, from that farm, that was a pretty deplorable situation because they had the bird mites and all that crap, so we had to treat that, and it didn't take us long to get them knocked out and killed. The birds are doing fine. They've been some of our best layers, but they are getting older, and we can tell with the production of their egg laying is slowing down a little bit. And one of them doesn't have the hard shell, it just has the membrane. So she's not eating enough calcium, is what that boils down to. And that's probably the dog. Life is exciting, and she's going to have to wait a minute. Life is exciting, life is fun. I'm living it on my own terms, except for OG&E and the water department, which I do want to get rid of those. So I'm looking at solar, I'm looking at wind power, and I'm also looking at finding somebody to drill a well. Because otherwise I'll be digging to China, not literally China, but until I find the water table. And I've seen how it can be done. It's just very, very, very time consuming to dig your own well by hand. But if that's something that I would have to do, then that's something that I would do. I don't per se really want to do that, but if it came down to it, I sure would give it a shot. Because I'm not opposed to that. But I am looking forward to this year. I'm not doing any comic book conventions, which is sad, because I know they're already going on, and some good ones are going on right now, and more good ones are going to happen throughout the year. And I am just not going to do that until I get my stock going, which means new prints, new way I present the artwork to the people, which will be canvas and not just paperwork or paper, which I have 3 portfolios of paper artwork ready for your house, not mine. You guys buy it from me, and the more you buy, the better deal you get. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this year, even though I am, again, not going to comic book conventions. Like I said, I am focusing on the comic book. I'm focusing on the commissions that come in. I'm focusing on revamping, which I've already done with the 412 Productions. If you knew me as who I was before, under the old moniker, that is gone and dead. But 412 Productions, the Art of Monty Anderson, is the new moniker. And it's already kicked off the year with a bang. it ended the year with a bang because people thought I was stopping doing artwork, period. And it was just like, no, just wait, just wait. Artwork is not dead. Artwork is not done. But it did bring a topic of conversation. And that was the whole idea behind how I presented everything. Because whenever I just put it out there and showed the tombstone with my old logo on it and a start date and an end date, people were like losing their minds because they thought I was stopping doing artwork. Even my mother hit me up and was like, don't you dare stop doing your artwork because it's so good and yada yada yada. And it's just like, Mom, just wait. Just wait till tomorrow. Day 1, January 1. Just wait. And that's when I, at about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, did my live and presented the whole new logo, the whole new atmosphere to my artwork. And it's been doing great ever since. Had the most sales that I've had in January of any January this year. So 2025 started out with a bang. And so, you know, I'm not looking back. And I'm just looking forward to the future. And then in 2026, I will be back to doing conventions with hopefully a, you know, a whole nother, hoping to have my comic book ready, or at least portion of it ready to display and be like, here we go. So I think it's going to be cool. I'm ready for it, and I'm looking forward to it. So I appreciate each and every one of you stopping in, liking, sharing. Hopefully you go up to my page, go to my bio, and in there you'll find the link to my website. On the website you'll see the 412 Productions with the Joker right directly across from it. Underneath the 412 Productions you will find my social presence right there, from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, which you guys are already here on TikTok. But I look forward to seeing each and every one of you on my other platforms. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to that, because all of my recordings go over there for now until I'm able to go live over there. But I appreciate each and every one of you stopping in, checking out the channel, listening to me rant a little bit about annoyances, and looking to the future. And as I like to say as I leave everybody, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody. Okay, I just killed my TikTok live. I am at 2.6 thousand views just on today's topic. So that is pretty awesome. That's very awesome. 2.6 thousand views on today's. That is awesome. So this is my time frame. So 4 o'clock to the 5 o'clock hour seems to be the good time frame to hit. So that is when I'll probably be going live each and every time, as long as I am up at that point in time, which normally I am. But you all have a great day, and we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.